Hi, so welcome back to another episode of the Boxing Bantz podcast, and we're pleased to welcome friend of the, you're our very first world champion, Nina Hughes. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. How are you, Max?
I'm brilliant. I'm actually melting to death. I've had to open the front door and the back door to sort of chill out.
Cool down a bit.
Yeah.
So, how's things been, Nina? Since obviously, let's address the elephant in the room. Robbed. I think the word robbed is very mild, right, in comparison to what happened. Obviously, over in Australia, Shanika Johnson. In 30 years of professional boxing, I've never seen it. Completely I've never seen it in a world title fight ever. I don't think it's ever been recorded like that.
So just don't get your arm lifted. It's like, oh no.
And I was like that at the time. I was like, someone's going to get in trouble for this one.
I was on the phone to Andy. I was going, Andy, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Have you seen this? I was like, I'm watching it.
Real?
I mean, I can only imagine what was going through your head when this was all going on.
Well, obviously, we thought we'd won for however long it was. And then,
About 30 seconds, wasn't it?
I think it was about a couple of minutes. I don't know. It was a little while. And then, as soon as he started dragging my hand back and started reading the scores again, I just knew.
I think, I mean, it's always the old adage, isn't it? Unless you're going to go and stop them in their backyard, it's hard to always get that decision. And it must be really, really, for a fighter, going through all that emotion. People don't realise that it's a 12, 15-week camp. It's travelling to the other side of the world, 24 hours on an airplane, and you've got two young boys, leaving the family behind, dedicated to the craft. So it must just feel like, I don't say some of the words that were going through in my head at the time, but just what is that like? I mean, what could, people, yeah. Well, that was easily summed up, wasn't it? One word. Shit.
Yeah, it's shit.
Did you ever sort of challenge the decision?
Yeah,
like
we
afterwards?
appealed it, and they got 5 neutral judges from around the world to review the decision.
Right.
And 3 out of the 5 had me winning. So they've basically made me next in line, but because me and Shanika was allowed, especially on the basis that the winner had to fight the mandatory.
Right.
The WBA she still has to fight the mandatory within 120 days, and then I get the winner.
Right. And this is a mandatory Jamie Mitchell.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and it's repeat or revenge, isn't it? Either way, I think it's just when you look at it. But I mean, as I say, sort of for 30 years, I've been involved in like professional boxing, and never have I ever seen that. I mean, that is just utter disgrace, and it.
Listen, for
But what does it say?
Most shocking decisions, that is well up there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I mean, I think since I've been home, I've seen a few other shocking decisions on telly, and it's just like it's boxing, isn't it? It happens in all levels, from the amateurs up until the pros. It's just obviously when you get your world title taken off you in that way, there's no words to describe it really, but it's the sport we're in.
Well, that's it. So, after my last little statement, I don't think the WBA are going to be inviting me to their annual gala dinner, because I just think it's, I just no other words for it. I mean, when we were sitting there watching it, going through the emotions, getting really excited, your hand gets raised, absolutely. I agreed with the decision, and I'm sitting there and I go, mate, what's going on? And it's just the unsure bit, and it's just. But anyway. I mean, it's there done, and I know you're back in the gym. Like, I think you returned the minute you got back. I think you went for a nice little holiday. Beautiful pictures released all over social, and now back in grinding hard.
Yeah, just hoping, obviously wanting that rematch or wanting another big fight, wanting another world title. So I was just hoping that something can happen.
Well, I think has they actually guaranteed you the winner of Shanika Johnson versus Jamie Mitchell?
Yes.
That's good. That is good. Because I remember I worked with Jamie. We worked with a company called TCL. So Jamie was representing one of the states in there, and I was talking with Jamie about about it. She thought she was robbed. I was like, no, you lost legitimately. Of course, I'd say that. Nina's my girl. I was giving it, and she was like, no, we're going to get a rematch on. And obviously, I haven't spoken to her since she's signed to fight Shanika. Is that actually happening in Australia as well?
Well, nothing's been arranged. See, they had to fight within 120 days, which is like nearly up by September, basically. But I think the problem with it now is female boxing seems to be on decline. There's not the big fights are there to be made, but the TV companies aren't willing to pay the money to put them on. So that's where the business side of it is affecting it. So I don't think anyone's willing to pay for that fight at the moment. So I'm not sure.
So do you think that's just going to be put on hold until?
Well, at the moment, I know Lou DiBella's trying to arrange this 8-woman tournament.
Right. Are you involved with that?
Yeah. So there's in the tournament there's all the belts. So there'll be Dina, Shanika, Maya Yoshida. There's Amanda Gailey who's got the IBO, and then there's me, Jamie, and Shannon Courtney. Is that 8? I counted 8.
I think so.
I didn't have my fingers going at the time. But...
oh, and Sharita Metcalf, that's it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how this goes because, I think, is this the part where would you say that the Riyadh season's having the negative effect on female boxing? Because there's not too much female boxing going on out there through, as we know.
I think so, because I think probably all the big promoters are concentrating on all the big fights over there. They're putting on the big fights. All the people, the lower level and the men's and the females are getting kind of left behind, really. There's not as much interest in it. There's not as many shows. The interest level has definitely dropped. And, there's all the females, majority, apart from the odd couple, are finding it really hard to get the fights. And the fights we're willing to fight each other, like mutual agreement to fight each other, but obviously no one's going to fight for no money, and no one's willing to pay the money. So
yeah, because obviously
situation
the money's got to be worth your while, for starters, isn't it?
It's not like, the money us women are asking for is like nothing compared to.
Oh yeah, look at Fury and
fractions compared to what the men earn, but we still can't even get paid that. So. Yeah, it's the business side that's holding everything up.
And do you think that sort of side is going to would you say the female boxer will sort of fizzle out if nothing's sorted?
Yeah, definitely. This is why Lou DiBella's trying to arrange this tournament, because he thinks a big tournament like this will gain more interest, and hopefully someone will want to fund it and put it on.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, this is all the belts on the line here, so the winner will
undisputed.
So it's a good tournament.
Yes, that sounds interesting.
I think as well, it's
this is going to be one hell of a scrap, isn't it?
Do you know what it is? I think as well that it's a shame. Jake Paul's done an awful lot for women's boxing, but only for one or two fighters.
Would you
mainly for. Just for my mind's gone blank. What's her name? Serrano.
Amanda Serrano. Yeah.
He's done wonders for her. Maybe he'll put it on. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully someone will fund it, and we can get a undisputed champion bantamweights.
Well, we can always have a chat with Leon, see if he'll sell his Lamborghini. That'll. Some way to. I think he'll tell me off, and the first word will be 4 letters. But nice enough car, isn't it? Really nice guy. Like Leon a lot. So, how did the relationship with Lou come about from DiBella Entertainment?
He contacted me actually. He just messaged me on Twitter and told me he'd love to work with me. And so then obviously my manager then. Spoke to him and we worked something out. That's how it all started.
So do you know when you're next going to be out, or are we all sort of still up in the air, really, isn't it?
It's all stuff up in the air. It's just a waiting game, but definitely hoping this year.
So being involved in obviously female boxing, clearly, a lot of it, like you said, the money isn't great. And how is it, in boxing, people don't understand. You don't punch, you don't get paid. And it's really, really difficult. And you can get some sponsorships, and some may pay a monthly sort of assistance, if you like. But a lot of them now are going, well, if you ain't got a fight, what am I paying for? How do you find that? I mean, is it how is the sponsorship situation? Is that easier to fight? Is it still just as difficult as getting the fights over the line?
Yeah, a bit of both, really. Yeah, it's hard because obviously I focus myself. I know I probably should, but I focus myself on my training more than anything else, and my family life, my home life. I haven't got the time to focus on so much on the social media side and building myself, which is what I need to do. Like, you have to build your profile to get to sponsorship. It all works hand in hand, and unfortunately, that side of it I find difficult. So.
Go on, Max. I thought you were going to say something.
No, I was waiting for you to say something. I was like, wait a minute, Andy's going to say something. Like, I know what he's like.
Charming. So anyway, let's talk about sort of happier times. Talk about the holiday. What is it like? Oh,
no.
You're back. So so you go away. You come home.
Yeah.
Describe the feeling. Obviously, we know what happened. Describe the feeling of coming through the airport and seeing the kids going, we're going away for the week. I mean, what's that the feeling like? I mean, people don't. There's so many sacrifices to boxing that's they've got to understand sort of that. What's that like? I mean,
it's been nice, especially like obviously they're my two biggest supporters. So I shout on the phone. They watched it as soon as they woke up in the morning. And this son, he was like, I've googled it. They're not allowed to. It's against the law for them to overturn the decision. I've googled it. They can't do it. They're not allowed.
Listen, you find in this business they do what they like. Really.
6 weeks holiday, so it's been nice where I've not been in camp for the 6 weeks holiday. So I've been able to train once a day and then spend the rest of the day taking the kids out and spending quality time with them. So. Yeah.
Listen, at least we've had the weather for it. Apart from this last week, it's been a bit ropey, isn't it?
Yeah, finally got some nice weather.
Yeah.
So obviously it's been Olympic season. Did you have a chance to watch any of it?
Yeah, I watched bits of it. Not as much as I wanted to. I was just flicking through watching bits, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you something about the Olympics. What did you think of the transgender boxing? Should it even be allowed?
Well, she's not actually a transgender, is it?
I thought the female fighter gave up after like 40 seconds because it was a man.
Yeah,
it was meant to be a man.
It's all been blown well out of proportion. Don't get me wrong. Look, there's arguments there whether she should be allowed to compete or not. But obviously the media and the stories, it all got wrongly. It was all unfairly portrayed over social media and everything else. She was born a woman, wasn't she? She has woman's body,
right?
But apparently she has male XY chromosomes. So does that turn that back on? Whether that gives her a fair advantage, it obviously does. Whether she should be allowed.
Part woman, part man.
Yeah, she's. Well, the thing is, there's not even been any proof of this. This is still just
speculation.
What they've said. Yeah, I don't think anyone's actually showed proof, but this is what they're saying.
So here's what the IBA say, right? So when they did the test originally, I think it was for the World Championships. They found that she was ineligible because of the XY chromosome issue.
Yeah.
And then she appealed it. And then dropped it.
Yeah.
So I think we come to the point when we have to look at physicality. If the fact of the matter is, this sounds very rude and cross. Okay, you want to prove you're a woman, take clothes off. It's as simple as that, right? Okay, and we'll have an examine, make sure there's no scar tissue, etc. I'm not asking her to do that to me, obviously. Go for a doctor and everything else. Behind closed doors, Not that not that I remember what women are like that. But I'm just saying. So that would be an argument to say, well, then that's foolproof. However, obviously, there is conditions such as hermaphrodites who are both, but it's not realistically about what she is in terms of the argument. It's realistically about how fair the competition is.
Yeah.
Now, if you get to you're a world professional, world class level athlete, okay, and if you are fighting somebody who is a world class level athlete, as you do for these world titles, etc., you would expect to be fighting on an even keel.
Yeah.
That's what you're not going to be expecting to fight someone who doesn't have that even keel, because at the end of the day, I think you're welterweight, right? Or bantamweight, right? So when you're fighting the male equivalent, their XY chromosomes versus XX chromosomes, right? There is a different level of power. There's a different muscle tone. There's a different level of everything. That isn't to put female professional athletes down. It's to give the unfair advantage.
Yeah.
And considering the IBA took the notion to ban both competitors, Khalif and Lin, now the Olympics grant them that ability.
Yeah.
Does it? How would you feel? I think is the real question on coming on against someone like Khalif. How would you feel?
I mean, I think some rules need to be set in place. Like for her, she's not doing anything wrong because she is born a female. Is a female. She's competing as a female because there's no rule set in place for this kind of thing. And I think they need to do a lot of research and they need to put rules in place and make it a fair playing field. I know I've heard a lot about the South African 800 metre runner who had the same form, was beating all the records, and I think they made her take something to lower her testosterone levels so it was even. I mean, if that makes it even, I don't know. Or is there other benefits from having it? So I think there's so much science and so much more to it but it does need to be a level playing field. Otherwise, it's the same as a female injecting a load of steroids into her. You're not allowed to do it because it gives you an unfair advantage. And although, unfortunately, she's unlucky to be born with that genetic and that disorder, it's one of them. It's unfortunate for her, but it has to be in a sport that's a contact sport. It has to be fair as well.
I think as well, it elevates the issue that it is a full contact sport. It elevates the issue that, we've all been affected by people who's been seriously hurt inside that squared circle.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it should be with every sport, but particularly because any contact sport.
And I think when you sit there and you look at the scenario of this, I don't think she is to blame. Obviously, she can't help what her body is, but it's got to be put in a fair play field.
So she's not breaking any rules in that sense. So, but there definitely needs to be something put in place regarding it, to make it fair. I mean, I don't know what they do in other sports, because obviously I don't think it's that common thing, but it must have happened in other sports. There must be a way of testing and making it fair.
Well, I'll hold my hands up to this. This is probably the first time I've come across this. Like you said, it probably happens all the time. We just don't hear about it because it's the Olympics. It's been spotlighted. People are jumping all over it.
Yeah, but she has been beat by 9 women as well, and all the women that she's boxed that have beat her and are sticking up for her. So there's an argument there as well. I think there's a lot more.
Do you know what? I think she can't help her genetics, and nobody can, right? You can't. If it's natural, it's natural. She's naturally strong, and it's one of them things. It all depends. I think sometimes it all depends to me what you're born. This is where I think, people are going to jump all over me for this, but I think if you're born a woman, you compete in women's sports. If you're born a man, you compete in men's sports. Yeah. Well, not sports, but, sides. Because especially, unless you're doing mixed doubles in tennis and things like that, but this is not somewhere where you can play games. This is somewhere that's really serious. It's somewhere where people do actually get hurt. And I think that if she was born with it and she's definitely female, then, all fair play to her. Do you know what I mean? But I'm trying to put myself in her shoes, trying to justify her life.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
it's
mean?
a hard one. It is a hard one because people say, like, obviously Usain Bolt, he's born with genetics that make him run faster than everyone else. Everyone's born with genetics, so she's born with advantages. But then the fact that she's born with she has male genetics
In a female
makes
body.
it. Yeah, it's a hard one, and it needs to be addressed. And yeah,
I
I
think
think it
they
needs
need a
to be
bit more
made fair.
scientific testing.
Yeah,
I think.
I think there's so much more to it, but it
It's the
definitely
testing
needs
isn't the
to be made
issue.
fair.
Yeah, the testing isn't the issue. It's the clarification that remains.
Listen, if they do
the
tests
issue.
on her and another woman, and she comes back, yeah, she's all female, but she's just double strong. What's the problem?
Yeah, I'm surprised she hasn't, because I see she's like suing all the famous people that have.
J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk, that's not going to work out well for her, not really.
Yeah, but there's still been no. I don't know if that was if I was in that situation, and I was genuinely a woman, I'd be wanting to prove to everyone, and I'd be wanting to do a test to show everyone the results, because there's still been no proof either way. So it's still been people.
But it's like I just said to you, isn't it? Just stand in front of the doctor and take everything off and go, what am I? I mean,
Yeah.
But
And then
it's a woman's body, so that will make no difference.
there you go. Yeah, but if it's a woman's body, it's a woman's body. That's it. Do you know what I mean? Now, I mean, I think it's easier if someone said to you, "Prove you're a woman," what you do is say, "Hang on, just 2 seconds." Grab the kids. And go, where do you think these come from? Do you know what I mean? But because it's an easier thing.
The way the Olympics said was that we go by what's on the passport, and to me that just opens doors for actual transgenders to pretend.
Yeah, I think you can't go on a passport.
women.
You've got to go on.
Yeah,
birth
because I know
certificate.
someone who could become Michaela Tyson. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And go in there.
go by passport and birth certificate. I think that's a bit worrying, that it can open doors for transgenders to pretend they were really women at birth when they wasn't, and if there's no testing or there's no proof, I don't know. I know they don't want to.
It's like me changing my name by default. I'm called now. Instead of called Max, I'm called Maxine. Now I'm gonna get a passport.
Get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the beard would give it away, Max.
Yeah.
just, but do you know what? I mean, saying that, I want to sort of put it out there that perhaps there's an argument now where transgender people can have their own classification.
I think they should have their own classification.
Yeah, I think it should, and they shouldn't be disadvantaged, if they like, because they identify as elsewhere. But then again, you've got two classifications. This is men transgendering to women.
Well, they could have their own
and vice
Olympics,
versa.
couldn't they? You know what I mean? Like transgender Olympics.
I think that's going a bit much. Yeah.
No, of course, there's probably hundreds of thousands of transgender out there, men to women, women to men. There's probably enough to fill up the sports to have their own one.
Yeah, but I do believe they've got every right to go in that arena and wave their country's flag, because that is ultimately what it is all about at the end of the day. And I do feel for her, because she's having her whole life splattered across the front of every newspaper, every journal. I was going, is she? Isn't she? Is this allowed? Is this not allowed? And she's like, I can only imagine what she must be going through.
Yeah, to be fair, she's done well to block it out and still win gold. Yeah.
Listen, what's gone on for her
that's
is probably.
It's funny that she got all the publicity so much. Like everything was more on her than the Chinese lady that had the same argument.
Yeah, but this has probably opened so many doors for her. It's probably made her a wealthy woman.
Probably. She's got about 3 million followers.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's it. Yeah. See, I think the Taiwanese fighter's name was Lin Yuting.
Well.
Yeah, that's it. But she didn't get half the publicity that the Algerian.
Well, I'm hearing that Eddie Hearn's considering a professional contract for her.
Yeah, I did read that.
Yeah.
All of the followers.
Yeah, well, listen, it's all about if she can sell tickets. Listen, if I could sell arenas like Johnny Fisher, if I sold 3,000 tickets, even at 45 years old and like £300, then he would give me a contract.
Yeah, as long as you sell the
even
tickets.
if I couldn't fight for shit. Do you know what I mean? But I guess it's one of them, really. Do you know what I mean? And I do feel for her, and I just hope they make the right decisions that's best for everybody involved around in the sport. Last thing anyone needs is people to get more hurt than they more hurt than they do. So let's go back to you.
Yep.
I'm going to put some quick fire questions out there. Who do you want, Shanika or Jamie?
Shanika.
That didn't take long.
I've beaten Jamie. I need my title. I want my title back off Shanika.
So you want Shanika to beat Jamie Mitchell?
Yep.
And you want them to go over. And where do you want? Will they do it here in England, or is it going to be another Australia trip?
Who knows? Whoever's willing to put the money up.
Yeah, listen.
Obviously, I'd rather it here, but it's the business side. We'll see.
Listen, go where the money's going, and wherever country that be, go.
All you know is next time you fight, you get fucked up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll let the editing team bleep that out. Oh dear! I'll tell you, it's great to see you again. I think that, I think it was robbery. I was just distraught myself over it. I was just thinking, and then obviously listening to your coach going, this is a single woman here who fights for everything, absolutely everything, and people don't realise how much of a nice young lady you are as well. And I think that they just think that, oh, that's right, she's just a world champion, she'll go off and live in merry Sundance. You're like, actually, she lives a very, very humble life. I've been down to see you in the gym. You turned up in the gym. You got the car seats in the back for the kids. Just drop the kids off. Now going to train. Come back. Go off to work. Then come. And people don't realise that, especially from professional female fighters, how hard they have to work to get the recognition. And just hope that Jake Paul sees this and says, "I'll tell you what. I'll put this on." He's got a few quid in the bank.
Then someone with a few quid to put it on.
Yeah,
You would have thought, just to fight, obviously we know Eddie Hearn's cash cow in the division. But this is a question I've got for you. Here's a question, right? And you've got to answer it honestly. Yeah, deal?
Yeah.
The question is... you know what I'm going to say. First fight, Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron. Chantel Cameron beats Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
Now, I spoke to Eddie. I said to Eddie, "What in the rematch? What's the chances of doing it at Katie's weight, not Chantel's weight, and put Katie's belts on the line at Wembley?" He goes, "Yeah, she might do that." Bullshit. Now, that was never going to happen.
No.
Do you think that Eddie has done Chantel what happened with you in Australia? Literally, it was like she was taken away to have everything taken away from her. Do you think that was... or do you honestly think that... Not really. It was like a 50-50. Because,
it was... Obviously, they're different situations, but, yeah, I do feel like I was taken to Australia to get my title robbed off me, but...
Listen, revenge is served bittersweet. Trust.
Yeah.
Trust. And obviously...
Revenge is best served cold.
Oh, mate, it won't be a roasting hot if it's on Australia. I was like, Jesus. But no, I think that the female division's still got so much to offer and the boxing quality is so good. It just seems a shame to me how it can't get off the ground. Obviously, you've got Katie Taylor. She's obviously coming to the end. Obviously, yourself probably, 3-4 fights, and then you've got to really consider how far you're going to go. Who's going to replace you all?
I feel like they're not building the next generation of women to be the next lot of superstars. I think once all the big names like Kate Taylor, Serrano retire, who's building the next lot to come through?
Yeah. I think you've got a couple.
Probably a lot of stars that are going to be potential superstars, but unless they're built, no one's going to know.
Who do you think's doing a good job of that? Because Frank Warren's got quite a few, hasn't he? Obviously, we've been with Raven. She's good.
Yeah, Raven Chapman.
And
she seems to be sort of smashing it out at the moment, isn't she?
He's now got Chantel Cameron as well. So, where do we... I'm not taking anything away from Eddie. Get on with him. Nice enough guy, always pleasant to me. He never turned up at our studio, even promising. That's your fault, Eddie. But other than that, like you said, what is it going to take? It's going to take someone to do sort of a Riyadh season for females, do you not think? Because there's not a lot of women boxing goes on out in Riyadh, have you noticed?
Definitely not.
No. Has there been any women fighting?
It needs to be built. From the lower levels, people like the people that are turning over, they need to be like the potential superstars of the future. Need to
Yeah,
be built.
well, we're
Otherwise,
talking
it's
about
just
that.
going to fade away.
Talking about potential female superstars, we're going to be chatting next week to Eilish Tierney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's.
I've been doing a lot of sparring with her.
Over. Are we going to go see her
Yeah.
next week in
And over to
Ipswich?
Ipswich.
In Molsham, is it, Sam?
Yeah, she's a lovely girl.
Yeah. So yeah, we got in
I mean,
contact with her start of the week, and like for a friend of mine knows her mum. she said, "Listen,
boxing is so tight knit, isn't it?
Yeah.
We know everyone's mum.
I sparred her this morning.
no."
I think she sparred her this morning.
Oh, did you?
ya?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Max, you would have saved me a trip to Ipswich if you got off your arse and went down to Twick. You live there. No, do you know what? I mean, I love women's boxing. We do a lot with. So we've got Kate McLaren. We're going to be speaking to her. She's fighting for her first UK show since returning to Australia. She's fighting at Johnny Clark's show in September. Yep. You've got in the same stable Sidine Mamar. Hopefully, there's news coming out for her fighting in September as well. Everything crossed for that. There's so many good talents, and Lily Wynn, she's fighting as well. Spoke to her last week. I just wished, that they could put, someone like would just dedicate a little bit more to women's boxing. Do you know what I mean? I think there needs to be. And what I'd actually like to see is a one whole show dedicated to women's boxing. Do you know what I mean? On British soil.
They did that once on Sky, didn't they? When Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall boxed each other. It was an all-female show, and there was talks that there was going to be one this year, but it's never materialised.
And it's all down. The only reason we're not seeing them is it's just down to the dough at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So anyway, there's going to hopefully be some news soon about Shanika Johnson beating up Jamie Mitchell, so you get a chance to beat up Shanika Johnson again, very, very soon. Obviously, we'll keep our ears firmly planted to the ground. And do you think you'll be in the ring again before Christmas, or are you?
That is the plan.
Listen, go send a message out. Hurry up and get it in the ring because I'm coming for you.
It needs to be. I need to be back in the ring this year.
And if that can't be made against Shanika for whatever reasons, is there other sort of opportunities there? If Lou gets his stuff sorted,
all opportunities if it makes sense.
What about Yoshida?
Yeah, we're more than up for the fight, and I know she's up for the fight. She wants to fight too, but again, who's going to pay for it? She's got the title. She's not going to box for nothing, and no one's willing to pay for it. We're all up for fighting each other, but the business side of it, when no one's willing to pay anyone, no one's going to box for nothing, especially when you've got the title.
Yeah,
well, I know Yoshida and Jamie both boxed at TCL for the Team Combat League.
She got beat up, didn't she, Yoshida?
Yoshida got dropped. No, I don't know if you saw that. So, obviously, Max and I work for Team Combat League in the United States. And so basically, the whole it's a new style of boxing.
It's just one round, isn't it?
What, 2 rounds?
2 rounds.
You get one in the first.
I only see one. I did watch it, one, but I could only see one round. And then it went on to the next one.
That's right. So no, you have 2 rounds. You have one in the first half, one in the second half, and cities fight cities like in a league sport. It's really good little concept.
That's why I only see one round because then they went on to the next person.
Yeah, and then they'll do a second half, and then there's a finale round if you pass through that. And it's, the sort of money's quite good. Considering it's only 6 minutes, it's certainly not bad hourly rate. Let's put it that way. So, hopefully they're talking about taking sort of a UK team. When Max and I've been trying to persuade them that they need a Ryder Cup of boxing, and it's certainly obviously
America.
With the British Boxing Board of Control and things like that, it might be a little bit difficult, but it's certainly easy to do it over in America because it's already there. And I'm going to have a chat with Mark, I reckon, who's the proprietor of it. I'm going to say, listen, you know who Yoshida is. So let's get something going. But and perhaps it could be sort of a feature because it'd be on the off season. But it'd be great, wouldn't it? Because she didn't do so well at that. Yoshida, because it's instant action. Do you know what I mean? If you're going in there,
you've only got one round at a time. Like it's just all guns blazing.
Yeah, you just got to get in there and mock it out quickly
and smash it up.
People and certain styles, isn't it?
And that's the thing I loved about it. Get in there. You've got 2 rounds. One in the first half. If you don't get KO'd, then you fight again in the second half. Just one single round, and it's instant action. There's none of this, peppering each other, just sort of gently filling out. No, get in there and smash it up. I mean, it's just. incredible. And our boss, Dewey Cooper, we had him on a couple of weeks ago, who's Francis Ngannou's trainer as well. And I was said to him, how did we come up with this? And he said, I was there part and parcel of it. I said, it's really exciting. They want to do sort of a global thing. And I said, I might know a few people could be interested in that if the dough's right. And he said, well,
if the money's right,
it'd be really interesting.
The fighters will be there.
Yeah, really, money's right. Fighters will be there.
Listen, the money's that good. I'll be in there, no.
We get smashed. But
I don't care. Talk about the Benjamins.
And I said, Yoshida was there, Jamie Mitchell was there. So obviously we dealt with them, Max, all the time. And I was sort of thinking, oh mate, you've got two. How many more? If the dough's right, and it could be that next level. Do you know what I mean? It is interesting. Anyway, well, I'll tell you what, Nina, it's always a pleasure to see you, and we are going to be supporting you, jumping up and down at the TV set. Next time, if something happens again, I might rip it off the wall and jump all over it. But I'm just I just can't wait, and I think that I'll give the final word to you, but I think a lot more needs to be done for female boxing, especially like you said, bringing on that next sort of stars. So. I'll let you give the last appeal to Frank, to Eddie, to Leon, to Lee, to Johnny Clark, literally everybody involved in professional sports about what's so important and why they need to invest in the female boxing division.
I just don't. I don't even know what to say.
What you could say is, you invest in it, I'll come in and slap you up. That's really.
We always need exciting fights. I think the 2-minute rounds, I know there's an argument for me, but the 2-minute rounds at the moment, they're always tear-ups. They're always exciting fights. All the title fights have all been great fights. There's never been a bad one, really, that's been televised. And it's exciting, and it can only get better.
Well, I think definitely. I think if there was one negative, if I was to put it there as a negative, it is probably not enough women are in the divisions. I'll tell you why I say that. A friend of mine, Kate Radomska, she was fighting Chloe Watson. Clearly, Chloe was 25 pounds heavier.
She's quite a big girl.
She was absolutely monstrous. And I tell you what, some of you girls have got the cast iron jaws. Do you know what I mean? She was just, amazing. And I just think that they need to get more investment in female boxing. I think it's such good, the tear-ups that go on involved in it, and I just think it's amazing, really.
Yeah, I feel like it was on a massive rise, and now it's just taken a massive backward step, which is a shame. It felt like it was finally going somewhere.
Well, that's it. Well, so the last appeal is Leon, Lou, Eddie, Frank, Johnny, and everybody else
Jake
involved
Paul.
around in professional sport. Jake Paul, yeah. Get some of your cash out and help these girls. Do you know what I mean? Don't sit there, because guess what? When Missy Moo loses, what are you going to do then? You can't bring her onto a thing with a patch over her eye getting upset. You've got to have other female. This ain't a dig at Jake Paul, because actually I think he's done great for the sport.
Yeah, it's to stop boxing himself, but just concentrate on the promoting.
I'm promoting. And I think, in my opinion, it could be, especially if he jumps on the women bandwagon, could be a Hall of Fame promoter before he's 35. Because I think he's generally got that ability. Do you know what I mean? I think he's generally got that ability.
He knows how to do a promotion. He can promote people, and he's good at it. That's what people hate, I think. No, because he's, a Disney star turned boxer, but he knows how to bring the money in.
Because he's making so much money, compared to other people.
Listen, he wakes up in the morning and he's earning money,
Yeah, that's it.
He's good at that. He's good at selling himself, and he's good at making money from doing what he's doing.
He's sort of grown on me a little bit. He really has. But when he starts going, I'm going to win a cruiserweight world title and all this,
I believe he could.
What?
Yeah.
What are you?
I don't think he believes half the things he says. I think he just says it
I
for
think
the
it's
reaction,
I think it's
for the
all hype.
publicity.
You know.
I think you don't know shit about boxing. That's what I think.
I think he's very good at creating headlines by saying them things. He probably doesn't believe him himself. He's just very good at saying controversial things that people are going to think.
He's entering the 2028 Olympics for boxing, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, and he'll get slapped. That's what's going to happen. He's going to get schooled. That is what's going to. Do you know what the sad thing is about that? When you sit there and you think about it, if you know. Jake Paul going off, I'm going to be a cruiserweight world champion. I'm going to be a light heavyweight world champion. What are you going to do against Bivol and Benavidez? Let me help. Fuck all.
Yeah, listen,
nothing. JR Pattaya, you're going to listen. There's going to be a big hole in Jake's face right about there with Jake's fist straight through it.
He would never get in the ring of him. He just says it to create publicity, and it does. So he's doing the right thing in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, did he call out Canelo at one point?
Yeah, he called everyone out.
But I think everyone's called him out as well. I think there was rumours of Billy Joe calling him out. Billy Joe's been out in the ring for 3 years.
Everyone's calling him out because to them it's like an easy fight that they can make loads of money. So
well, yeah.
Listen, it'd take Billy Joe probably a year, 18 months to even get back into shape.
Everyone thinks easy money, but he's not stupid. He's gonna pick the right opponents, take his time, and keep making a lot of money.
Well, Chris Eubank Jr. is calling him out, isn't he? He's going like Conor Ben or
because all the proper pro boxers that call him out, they're just thinking it's easy money.
Yeah, but he's not an easy fighter though, is he, Billy Joe?
Pardon?
Billy Joe's not an easy fighter. He's not like a mug, is he? He can rock it out with the best.
For Billy Joe, it's an easy fight. But for Billy Joe, fighting Jake Paul, Billy Joe.
Oh yeah, listen.
That's what I'm saying. All the boxers.
Listen, that would break in.
As an easy. If they think fighting Jake Paul's an easy fight and they're going to make a lot of money from it, it's the easiest fight for the biggest money.
Yeah, millions of dollars to be earned for sort of a 15-minute fight.
So I've got a question to ask you as well, Dean. Right. So obviously you saw Alexander Usyk defeating Tyson Fury, and obviously you know how much. This is a question I really asked. Obviously after the fight, John Fury's been quiet. Now, I'm going to tell people this. Now, I've been with John Fury. I was with Tommy Fury. I went all the way to Morecambe. I was with Tyson. Do you know what? The persona they have on the camera is not what they have off the camera, right? John was such a nice guy. I was thinking, and then he went out to Riyadh and I was sort of questioning myself, was he the nice guy I thought he was when I was talking with him in Morecambe? How much do you think? I got this question. I'm quite interested to sort of hear a professional fight about obviously their corner. How much influence was positive from John being in Tyson's corner? How would you have felt in that situation? Because obviously we all heard him go, "We're Spartans," and what would you have been feeling? And the next two-part question. The second part.
In what way? What do you mean? In what way?
Do you think he was a help or a hindrance in that corner? Or would you have said, Dad, shut up, I've got Sugar Hill, I've got Andy Lee, shut up?
Yeah, I think he was a hindrance. Tyson just needs too many people talking in the corner. You need one person talking in the corner and that's it. They can all give that one coach their opinions and advice, and then that just all you need is that one coach. When you've got four people talking at you once, you're not going to listen to anything.
Yeah.
You just need... Sugar Hill should be doing all the talking. If everyone else has got input, they should be saying it to Sugar Hill in between the rounds.
Yeah, and then take it on board and get in there.
That's all you need. You just need that one person giving you the instructions.
Because it's mixed signals.
Yeah.
And the second thing, if that was your dad who headbutted that guy, would you have sent him home or would you have hidden him from the main fight? What would you have done?
Oh, it's an hard one, isn't it? My dad wouldn't headbutt someone, so I'd never be put in that situation.
It's just interesting. It really is to get there. But I go on record and I said I have had a conversation with John Fury, and actually I really like him. I can't help but like him, and I understand the defence of Tyson. Totally understand when he wants his son to do well.
He's been there for him from the start, so obviously he obviously feels that he can motivate him and give him that extra gear when things are going, when the going's tough. Like sometimes you've got that person that can motivate you. So whether if he could, then he'd be a help. But obviously whether it works or not is another matter.
And do you think that him saying in the corner, "Sorry, Max," they've gone, "You're winning," and Tyson clearly wasn't, and then 9th round, obviously, it doesn't help.
Are you?
Yeah.
I've just got one question. Are you surprised that Tyson's announced he's going to have the same corner as the first fight of Usyk, i.e. having John there again?
Oh, has he? I suppose he wants to stick by his family. I don't know. Maybe they'll make adjustments back. Like having, it's just the way they need to obviously make adjustments, and I'm sure they will make the adjustments.
Did you watch? Did you watch that fight?
Yeah.
Fight. Round 9, when Tyson was getting punched around the ring, was he being saved by the ref?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Who got stopped earlier on in the same night? Was it Joe Cordina? And
Joe Cordina, yeah.
Didn't take half the punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Joe Cordina put his hands down and was like,
so does Tyson.
Someone.
Hang
on, stop. I think Joe Cordina. Hang on. I think Joe Cordina was treated a bit unfairly because he was trying to say sorry and got smacked. That's what happened to him in that fight, wasn't he?
They were definitely treated differently, but obviously it all comes down to the amount of money involved in that fight, and maybe also the fact that Tyson always gets back up and recovers.
Yeah, knocking him over is easy.
I've got another question, right?
Oh no!
Towards the end of the 9th round, when Usyk hit Tyson and he barely touched that corner, the ref jumped on him straight away. Don't you think Usyk should have finished him off?
Yeah. He probably would have, but yeah.
Okay, let me put the devil's advocate. In round 6, Tyson clearly hurt Usyk. If you were to blame one thing,
was he?
One sec. If you were to blame one thing on Tyson's loss, would it be number 1, Usyk's a better fighter? Number 2, Tyson Fury should have stopped dicking around.
Yeah, showboating.
My vote. Showboating cost him that fight, or number 3 was just unlucky. What was the reasons that you think he lost it? I think my opinion was if Fury didn't pissball about, he would have stopped Usyk before round 6 because he was hitting him with everything other than the ring post.
I think it's a little bit of everything. You never know, do you? I mean, if he had stopped pissing about and he'd gone for it and been more aggressive, could he have stopped Usyk? Who knows? No one actually knows that. So there's obviously a reason why he didn't. Maybe he felt it was more awkward to. I don't know. I think it's a little bit of everything.
Right, just one more question then.
No!
Yeah. Usyk Fury number 2.
Hang on, stop!
What?
Don't! No. This is where it's great and interactive. Let me tell you what to stop. Nina, in your professional boxing career, not like you, right? I want you to give me the winner, okay? Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. Win and how? Who wins and how? Forget that you know Daniel or Anthony. Don't do that. Go purely on.
I think Joshua by knockout, but I'm not. I am on the fence. But if I have to pick,
no, get off the fence.
If I have to pick, I'm going Joshua knockout. But
but
it could be either.
But ain't Joshua got a bit of a dodgy Swede, isn't he? Like if he gets caught in the head, he's rocking, isn't he?
Yeah, but Daniel Dubois gives up, so you can argue each one. But listen. He took so many hits off Jarrell Miller. You ain't going to be able to do that against Joshua, who's probably one of the hardest heavyweight punchers in history. You just aren't going to be able to take that. Okay, so here's the next one. December 21st. Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury rematch. No, you've lost it now. You just change it. Come on, who you got for that one?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's just, I don't know. It depends what Tyson Fury turns up.
Depends what Fury turns up.
That's what she said. Do you know what? It's such an interesting fight. If the Tyson Fury who fought, Deontay Wilder turns up, it's going to be a very bad night for Alexander Usyk. But if the Tyson Fury who played around with Francis Ngannou and Alexander Usyk turns up, it's going to be a very easy night.
I can't see Fury turning up like he did against Ngannou.
I don't know if Alexander Usyk's just that good that he can always find a way to adapt, or always thought Tyson was going to be the two bigger man for him. Like when he had back in the before that fight was made. So
Well, according to Tony Bellew, well, according to Bellew on IFL's interview, he reckons it's going to go the same way. Who's it's going to win again?
He may well do. He may well do. He may have worked him out. He may have got his number.
That's a fair comment. So, one last question before we let you go back to your lovely family. Do you think we're ever going to see Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury?
Probably not.
Only if they win both their respective fights, right? Then I think that the money would be so great.
But the fight was it should have happened years ago.
I just don't think the fight's ever going to happen, to be fair.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those arguments.
Before that fight happens.
I think
if he loses again to Usyk,
he's going to retire.
Yeah.
Well, if he loses to Usyk, there's only one fight left for him if he stays, isn't there?
Yeah. So
and that is the Joshua fight.
I don't think it'll happen to me.
Well, Nina, thank you very much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure and good to see you looking so well and with revenge on your mind. It's absolutely fantastic and we're really, really keen to see it and look forward to catching up again very, very soon.
Thanks.